Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you another PlayStation 4 review, and today's review is for Punch Club. Now this game was released several years ago on the PlayStation 4 and it's a game I've had in my library for a long time. Doesn't take up a lot of space at all. And it's a game, I remember when it first came out I was quite excited to play this game, and essentially it's, as you can see by the way it looks, it's like a pixelated fighting RPG, I suppose is the best way to describe it. It just sounded great. It's exactly my sort of game. And then I remember playing it for probably, well, I've tried to play this game a few times since I got it. Never could really get into it initially. And I've retried it over this last week or so, and it's finally clicked into place, this game, for me, which I suppose is probably one of the weak points to the game, in a sense of it's a difficult game to grasp in a lot of ways. There's a lot of things going on in this game. It's actually more complex than it looks on the surface. And essentially you play this fighter and you get to name the fighter. And it comes with this cheesy pass, you know, your father was a fighter and was killed and now you want to be a fighter, and essentially you've got your home, there's a guy called Mick, yes I know, takes you under his wing. You can go to the gym, you can train, and you get the opportunity to fight in different leagues, like a rookie league, and then it goes up and up and up, and you can even fight in like underground fights, like illegal fights, to try and improve your skills and make some extra money and things like that. All in the while you have to balance, as you're playing this game, your health, your money, your training, to try and keep it all in balance. And by that I mean you need money to buy food, you need food to be able to train, to keep your energy high, you need to sleep when you need to get your energy up. So you've got to go out and earn money by winning fights, working as a pizza delivery guy or working as a labourer, and you will earn money, and then you can buy food at the supermarket, and then eventually you will be given the opportunity to buy gym equipment to put in your home, which will then enable you to stop training at the gym, so it'll make it cheaper for you. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. Now that's to say nothing of the storyline that's running through it, which has branching paths depending on what choices you choose, which is quite complex for a game like this. Loads of different characters for you to meet. There's even a love interest along the way. That your love interest is called Adrian. Yes, this game is not subtle in its approach. Now it's not just strictly a boxing game, it's a fighting game, so it's like, you know, it's like a mixed martial arts fighting game. So you end up going through the game, you've got to balance all these things that I've described, you know, your training, so you've got strength, you've got stamina, and you've got speed, and you've got to kind of train these up. You can see on the top there, the red one is strength, the blue one is stamina, and the green one is speed, and you've got to train to get them up as high as you can. Every time you move up a level on one of those, your stats go up slightly, which will give you an opportunity then to fight, to beat the fighter. You'll end up early on in this game losing quite a few fights because your stats aren't what they should be. There are things called active skills that you unlock. There's like a full skill tree for you to unlock, so you can unlock better moves, more powerful moves, buffs for the character. There are 3 or 4 fighting styles for you to unlock. You can unlock things like the Way of the Dragon or things like that. So you can either be like a really good martial artist, fast fighter. You can be like a really strong, buff boxing style fighter. So you can unlock all these branching trees, and you can unlock these active skills as well. Initially you've only got 2 unlocked, but you can unlock 5 or 6 as the game goes on. You can add all these different special moves into your character that will enable them to use these skills in the fight. Now another thing you need to be aware of playing this game is you're essentially just watching the fights, you're not participating, so you need to make sure when you're going into your fight that you've got all the special moves on that you want to use and that kind of stuff, and you'll get rounds. So in between rounds you can swap and move special moves about. If you're getting hit a lot, you can put like an evasive maneuver in there if you've unlocked it, and all this kind of stuff. So it's actually a much deeper game than the surface of it would suggest, and it's one of those games, again, it is highly addictive. You can fly through 2, 3, 4 hours of this game and not know where the time has gone, because it kind of, once it's one of those games that once it gets its claws into you, it's very hard to let go of this game. It's a super addictive game, and it's, on the surface it looks pretty shallow and pretty basic, but underneath all that it's actually a really in-depth, I think, like fighting RPG. I mean, I think I'm not usually a big fan of the pixelated style of games, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm not. I never have been. But when it's done like this, it feels really cool. And this game does feel really quite retro. But at the same time, it's got like modern RPG mentality to it, I suppose. It mixes a lot of things here. I'm not a fan of fighting games, generally speaking. I used to be when I was younger. I used to play Tekkens and all that kind of stuff when I was younger. I don't really bother with them now. I don't have the patience. I'm more into RPGs, so this really speaks to me, a game like this. It is really, really cheap to pick up. I see it quite a lot. Very, very cheap to pick up in sales. And it's a game that I'm really, really enjoying this time round. Like I say, I've tried 2 or 3 times to get into it. I've always kind of struggled. It is quite difficult early on. The first 2 or 3 hours, the learning curve's quite difficult. You'll lose a lot of fights, and you find yourself just working to earn money to feed yourself, and then getting that balance, and then you just end up losing a lot of the fights because it's really, really hard to get your stats up. You find yourself not having a time to train, so therefore you're just working and eating, and no time to train, so therefore your stats will start going down, because as you lose fights you'll start losing your stats on your strength, your stamina and your speed. But ultimately, if you can get over that initial bump, that initial hurdle, that initial learning curve, there's a very deep fun game here that I think is worth your effort. If you're into quirky little games like this, there's quite a fun game to be had. So I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 10. It's definitely worth checking out. It's super cheap to pick up. What are you got to lose really with a game like this? It's very cliched. It's got obviously loads of hidden snippets in regards to Rocky and other fighting films, and there's some quirky little storylines that go on, and ultimately I think it's a fun little game, and one I really do recommend if you're looking for something like this. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you found it useful, and of course I will be back with more content on the channel very, very soon.